Welcome to the 8th video of the GHArmy MMA Co invite. Okay, so socks. What are so special about a $17, $20 pair of socks? Well, I was volunteering at the food bank today, and one of the volunteers there pulled me aside and said, "I have something to show you." And she came and said her husband and her were doing a random acts of giving thing this year. And I thought, wow, random acts of giving? That sounds cool. And that pretty much aligns with PP Days, so I have to do this video today. And this is my second take because volume was crap. But anyhow, she gave me some socks, and little did she know that socks are one of the best gifts that I've ever gotten for any time, really. I mean, you get a nice pair of socks and you're feeling good generally, especially in the cold weather in North Dakota, Minnesota area where I'm at. So yeah, not doing the best with stability and confidence and courage and comfort zone and all that. So I'm doing this video. One of my favorite bands, Nine Inch Nails, from back in the day is sorry, sinus, not the COVID. I've already gotten that anyhow. Has a song called "We're in This Together Now." I think "We're in This Together Now," and in his song is that we're in this together now. Nothing can stop us now. And I believe that will be true. That is true. As long as we focus on what helps us instead of hurts us. If we keep our focus on what's going to be good in the coming years, 2021, and all this 2020 was crap year. Well, in the beginning of the year, I already knew it was going to happen premonitionally somehow, whether it be due to my coma or not. I knew that 2020 would be when PP Days would be the perfect timing for PP Days to be introduced or shared. Okay, so yeah, that and as much as I'd like to hide away and just be satisfied that I came up with this idea, which I kind of have been for a while now, I have to share it. My heart won't let me not share it, won't let me just go off grid and hide away and live a peaceful existence. Although I understand that my energy is affecting everyone else's energy because we're all a whole collectively. And like in loverabove.com with Christy Marie, she says, the power of force, David Hawkins and the power versus force. One person that resonates at a high level can affect a lot of other people too. It's like when you go into a room and everybody's happy, you're going to feel more inclined to be happy. Or if everyone's fighting, you're going to feel more of that negative energy. So energy carries. That's the main concept to why the money aspect is ruining us, and why PP Days has been one of the ways that I've best come up with in theory for us to stop focusing on all of that. Okay, so the GHArmy MMA Co invite, or Good Hearts Army Mega Mastermind Alliance Cooperative. So it sounds a little bit redundant, yet a mastermind is a group of two or more people. And according to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, one of the widely known books, and I feel like it's more of a mega mastermind because not only the megalomaniac kind of concepts of this idea, but that it's for anyone to be included. It's more of a mutually beneficial relationship and a win-win-win conversation to be had. I want to go with sprints. Sprints are a project management way that like Google uses and a lot of other places use. That's one of the better ones, to where within a week they can get a whole lot figured out and to be able to use that to design a prototype for PP Days and come up with, solutions. So the red team, blue team dialogue, I mentioned that before, but the red team would be the team that's like, that won't work because, and the blue team's like, it will work because. So the back and forth will get a definitive feedback, some definitive feedback to where we could have something to try to include in the prototype. On that sprint video, we talked about market share, and I heard about it. I heard the words market share, and I'm thinking, who's sharing? What's the sharing? Does everyone have to have a business? Does everyone have to have a buy and sell situation for them to be okay? Or a grueling go to work? Or the people that are like, oh, I'm making money. People are buying my stuff. I don't have to do nothing. Or in a concept of the universal income for everyone. That wouldn't work, in my opinion, either, because that's just more printed or created currency out of something that doesn't, that already exists. Like we're polluting things, the energy that's already here, the life-giving source energy that's already here. And so I believe that would create people to be just in their comfort zone, not care about what's changing, not making any differences. Same with, like, the reason I believe that the COVID thing happened, whether it's a pandemic or not, is because it forces us to step out of our comfort zone and to focus on health, wealth, or well-being, what the real nature of abundance is, our relationship creations, our making amends, clearing the old energies. Some call it shadow work, however you define that. And so, the red team, blue team, the invites, the Q&A sessions, and just to be clear, I have never done a mastermind group or any kind of I'm fairly new at project management, leadership, masterminds, or exponential entrepreneurship, with only basic understanding of how to create this Moonshot dream game of PP Days. And I just simply want to help those who help us live a more harmonious and humane existence. So I want to help the people who are sincere about wanting to help others. So that's the concept with the sponsorships. And just like how that volunteer gave something to me for being a volunteer. And that's what the sponsorship has as far as true currency, like a more real currency than, hey, here, do this for me. Here's money. Give me money. Here's, give, take. No, it'd be a more sustainable, simultaneous effect for more harmonious results, impact. The first time I spoke about PP Days to one of the workers that works at the food bank, is she said it reminded her of a game, something called Life Skills. I looked it up. I couldn't find anything about it, but she said it was a game kind of like Monopoly, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but it, how that's in a Monopoly sense. She said, but it teaches life skills. And she was using it for high-risk individuals who, she was working with people that go into the prison systems and, helping high-risk individuals get better at, managing their own lives. So that was cool. She said she was excited. She wanted to find out about the website, like, where can I get information about it? And I've gotten that message a lot throughout these years. So many people are like, oh, I'd love to help. How do I start? What do I do? And now's the time for me to finally step out of my comfort zone and share this. And so I purchased ppdays.today, and I'm in the process of putting these videos on it, because it'd just be a basic website for the invite and email collections, and to get a notification for January 22nd, 2021, that's my plan and my goal to start the Mastermind. So up until then, I'll be trying to strategize or working with other people, and to just kind of let the chips fall where they may, in a way of sharing this and then seeing who has an interest, and the right kind of interest as well. So some people say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. What's not broken, in a way? And what's not broken, to me, is the perpetual state of life giving life giving life. The birth, maintenance, and death in the cycle of life. And it keeps going and going and going. Like, there's no real end. So like most other visionary thinkers and all that, everyone says Steve Jobs. There are so many people that have made huge sustainable differences that aren't even well known of. And like Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, and how people wanted to patent and steal it. And in fact, that woman, she said, well, are you going to patent it? Do you have a patent for it? And my mom even told me to do that. And my mom isn't much of a believer in anything that isn't for real to her. It's like, trust issues as well. But no, I won't patent this. I won't. Same with the open source or things like that. And like, I give kudos to Elon Musk, who wants to make AI and the new coming technologies, which he knows way more about and has seen what's really coming, and finds the danger in it, and how that could be the end of us if we don't allow an open playing field for people to have it, or be able to control it so that it doesn't control us, that kind of thing. And although I disagree with the control, like, power versus force. And so, yeah, the main sectors for what we would need in order to get this game going would be a social network, like people specializing in social networking and organization, e-commerce marketing and showcasing, data collection and VR or AI development, charitable fundraising and philanthropic outreach, journalists for campaigns, and public relations, among many, many others, aside from probably a good legal team, even though I've done the thought processes to where it looks like the simultaneous use of funds can work with the sponsorships and with, tax thing. Now, this is important. So if as a collective we keep focusing on things that are broken, or what's not working, then we're just going to keep getting those things. So all these battles, sexism, racism, social hierarchies, rich, poor, all these dualistic, contrastual things that our brains are really doing for us to protect us, like what's up, what's down, what's hot, what's cold, and you have the full spectrum. Well, somewhere in the middle is the equator, the equality of things, and that's where we want that playing field. We don't want to be jumping here and then fighting and trying to say we're right. We have to play in the middle and remain in the middle for as much harmony as possible. So instead, I'm choosing to focus on peacefully dismantling outdated death-dealing systems for more peace, more justice, more equality, and more sustainability, a life-affirming future story of us as whole as one. Universal consciousness, integral consciousness, those things where so many people have been waking up. And from my coma, I went down. My vibrations were way up. I was all over the place. I was everywhere. I could, like, remote view. I could do telepathy. I could do all of those things. And I had to shut them things off after a few years because it was getting to be way too much. And I still feel pretty singular, and like I've ostracized myself. I've taken myself out of the equation, because it hurts to watch so many of these people waking up without me saying, well, there's a good way for us to heal simultaneously together with, the social shopping and information and the accountability. And that's where I'm headed on that. So, every day, more and more people, places, things are being created. I mean, that's what we are. We're creative beings. So, movies, music, paintings, buildings, cars, toiletries, everything is being created all the time. And it may be great for the purpose of choice, yet having too many choices seems to bring more separation than connection. Okay? So how do we clean up the ways while our ways while polluting our minds, bodies, souls, and nature itself at the same time? This is the best so far that I've been able to come up with. Okay. Like I said, I'm new at all of this. And so, yeah, the red team, blue team, that's been explained. The applications, yes or no is the question. Because I would like to see people have to have their skin in the game. This can't be just a handout. Because that won't improve growth. That'll just be an enabling situation, and no growth happens, and de-escalation happens for the people enabling. So, on power plays and all those things. Well, with the applications, I'm wondering if there would be like an $8 fee for them to begin with to help build it. So using those funds to help create. Also, there's a question here. I have at least 8 questions. I'm looking into 8 questions to find out what matters and who's a good fit for this. Like with the sponsorships and the 8 1-ups and 8 let-goes, and how, 100 acts of kindness or giving could be, 1-ups, those kind of things. So the questions that a few of them are: tell me about a time when you were at your best, and when you were when you were doing your thing. Tell me about a time when you're at your best, and then what strengths did you tap into? Wisdom, empathy for others, intuition, ability to listen to people, ability to get stuff done, a get something done kind of person, like that, or ideas person, super structured or super organized, great at working out strategies, an epic thinker, awesome at plowing through challenges, full of determination, really altruistic, really care about people super deeply, tapped into emotions and highly sensitive, a good communicator, great at being around people, etc., etc. The strengths that most people would admire or aspire to become like, as well as what's going to be best for the organization and the mastermind. Are you going to be a player? Are you going to be a team player? Are you down with it? Are you for it? That kind of question. And then how could you bring those strengths to life? Growing PP days together. Also, like, what would be like some of your personal heroes or real life people that have changed your life and made things more understandable and humanitarian for you, more connected, more wholeness, or kept you feeling more alive. And one that I really like is Like, what if money, time, health, or lack of resources weren't an issue at all? What would you be doing for the rest of your life? Okay, I've asked this question to so many people in various forms, and some people were like, "Oh, I'd travel, I'd do this, I'd do that." That was before the check pandemic happened. So get that, but then it also get, a lot of people saying, "Well, I'd help animals, I'd help homeless people, I'd help domestic issues, clean up the environment," certain things like that. The majority of the answers I got were, I've never really thought about that, or very blank and empty, sad. I mean, getting those responses were sad. I've had people, let me think about that one. Like, no one's ever asked me that before. So yeah, that's very hopeless situations where, these people don't even think outside the box, or dream of something better, or want something better. They're just kind of like in motion, or just doing they're being told, or doing what everyone else does. And even though they have gifts, special gifts and talents that might be aligned with other people's special gifts and talents, but they're still gifts and talents. They're still artists. Okay? Like, everyone's an artist, really. We create every day. However we do it, we're doing it. Okay, so there's that. And I also wanted to share with you really quickly, because I know this video might be a little bit longer. This Mindset and Moonshots workshop, okay? You can get it off of, what was that there? Abundance360.com or .org. That I just found this past month. I think it's more of a newer thing. Peter Diamandis, and he's part of the whole SpaceX thing, I think, too. But Singularity University and all that is Moonshots, or the X Prize for if people reach a certain thing, they'll get a certain prize for it, for like moonshots and changing the world, making healthcare better. It's just an example. And he set this up. It's just a simple little worksheet, and so I'm going to go over it with you real quick on the way I filled it out. So he says, list aspirational areas that fill you with excitement, wonder, and desire. What capability do you want to create for humanity? What did you want to be as a kid? So there's 5 options. I said, number 1, to create a system based on Mother Nature to help to create as much harmony as possible before I die again. 2, I wanted to be an archaeologist. And that sort of came true 5-6 years ago. I had an ex that she was a PhD. She worked on mass spectrometers, ISO geochemist. She had a long title. And she took me to Big Bend in Texas, where she had found a dinosaur that's in the Dallas Museum now, and an Alamosaurus. And I had found a bone, and I was like, is this a fossil? I didn't know it. She's like, wow, where'd you find that? And so that kind of came true, So thoughts are things. Those things that you thought about long ago could be happening now. It depends on how much energy you put into those. And I put a lot of energy into PP Days, so I really hope people catch on and get the idea that if we combine these things under an umbrella, we can protect ourselves. No one could stop us after a while, and we'll be able to, do our light work, do our good deeds, do our healthy feelings, and helping other people while other people help us when we need it. Like, and accountability, just like, like that. Okay, and then to assist humanity to focus on compassionate happenings more so than financial gains. The main focus that I was raised with and taught, and still am, is where is your money? Where are you getting you got money? You got money? Let me buy you. Here, give, take. that doesn't work with, like, that's an imaginary form of energy for life. I get that, yes, money can be used for spiritual things, and a lot of other different reasons. Yet I feel the best way to remove the conflict with money is to where we're sustainable. We're in a system that's going to grow and grow and grow itself to where the money is less important. Okay? At least just less important. And I feel that with a lot more, millennials or younger people, and a lot of older people, just people in general want to be more supportive of each other and feel safe in that way. And money isn't going to allow that. Even a universal income, people think it's a good idea, but if you look at it, it's just going to create a lot more damages in the death dealing world, unless everybody's buying biodegradable or healthy, sustainable products from reputable, good companies, or they're going to be stuck in a comfort zone and not doing anything. All right, there'll be so much more mental illness and suicide problems, and there already are. I'm feeling pretty heavy and cloudy lately, maybe because the sun, it doesn't come out as much here. I'm in North Dakota, Minnesota area, and the solar eclipse just happened yesterday. Today is the 15th of December, and we still have the solstice happening on the 21st. So this little bit of time here with the planetary alignments, whether you agree with it or not, is going to change a lot of things, and then next year as well. So things are moving in a positive direction. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, apparently, on the 21st. So I welcome it. I do. And I want to be a part of it. I want my skin in the game. And my skin in the game is doing good deeds. I still have a strong urge to rebel and to protest and to, middle fingers to everything. But at the same time, I feel like the more centered I can become, the more grounded that I am, and more aligned I am with my true purpose and my true self, that I'll be able to assist other people. And I took the peer support specialist training a couple years ago, and I've been doing that for a long time. It's basically a glorified career path in a way of being a good friend to somebody, to be able to support them, but in a way of being the type of friend that will tell you things that you don't want to hear, but will help you, and not getting attached and being like too friendly with your clients, or I'm sure life coaches and those kind of different consulting areas know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that. All right, so number 2 is list big challenges or problems that you would love to solve. What injustices are painful or anger you? What would you do with $1 billion to make the world a better place? Now, I already mentioned somebody could give me $1 billion for PP days, and it wouldn't work, because you can't transplant the tree. I can't say, hey, invest in me, give me some, help me, and then buy a bunch of trees and put them in the ground and call it, I built that forest, or I grew that forest. Okay? No. It has to start from the seed and grow, and then it will stay. And as long as that forest is protected, it will be okay. It can't be transplanted. And that's how business works. In the majority of sense, they're like, oh, write a business plan, find investors, blah, blah, blah. How are you going to exit the business? And so there's no infinity, there's no infinite game like Simon Sinek says, or any of that. So no. But what I would do is inspire others to assist in building PP days. So I would inspire others to build. Maybe sounds a little contradictory. Either way, once it got built, it would be a growing, sustainable situation. Number 2 is start a purely support mission of traveling do-gooders. So I never really spoke about that, but one time I still have the passion, and travel isn't really happening that well right now. But when I was thinking 88 locations across the U.S. to start with, of a circle, and every 2 or 3 days, the motorhomes or traveling homes, um, one for each place, would change locations, and so they'd be able to travel around the U.S. on a scenic route or however, and help people along the way with every stop, with free everything and all contribution based. Okay, so yeah, volunteer, mental health people, peer supporters. So peer support, I believe if everybody took that course, and it was a 40-hour, 5-day course on how to assist others out of, somehow recovering, getting out of the hopelessness. Okay, number 3 would be good yums and free to all. So the good yums is healthy treats. It's the idea for healthy donuts, cookies, muffins, a snack brand called Good Yums, where I was one time working in a donut factory or donut shop in Tooele, Utah, when I was visiting my father years back, making amends there. And I was like, man, I feel so bad about making these. They're horrible food for any system. And one of the employees there was like, well, you have to think about it this way. They come here. They choose to come here. They want these things. And I'm like, yeah. It makes it a little better because I'm not like forcing them to do it. Yet, instead, I went home and I decided to, that night, and I went home and I checked it out, and I was like, healthy donuts. So I looked it up, and you can bake donuts, but there's also one product that had protein in these donuts that the Shark Tank had funded. And you have to order them and they ship them to you, like that. But then a couple years back, I made the name Oliver Apple Tweets, because for Oliver, which is like my spirit son, that he's now in a foster family, and he's not my biological son, but Jog's long story. You can find out more about that on A Minute with Mud if you want to watch stories. But this isn't about me. And anyway, the Oliver Apple Tweets. So the name, the flavor, and then the social or aspect of it in a comic book. So not just regular donuts, but how like the Joe Blow gum and how they have always had comics. So the pack of 8 would have a comic strip attached to it with purely supportive messages on these 8 blocks of start in, and so you could enjoy healthy messages, healthy food, and all of that. So that's just that idea. Anonymously fund worthwhile dreams for others. So if somebody had a dream and I'm like, yeah, what do you want to do? And they knew, and then they wanted to do that or attempt it or get educated or somehow, then I would love to do that anonymous, like Santa stuff or, the random acts of giving, but anonymously, because I don't want to be a hero. I don't, no fame, no fortune. Just leave me out of it. Let's just make this for everyone. No one's more or less than anyone technically. Might know more or know less or be capable in this area, that area. But this whole competitive nature is destroying us and has. I don't see a stronger human race because of it. Okay? Maybe back in the day when it was simple basic survival, but now it's about thriving. So the more we help each other, the more community we can allow for, the better it will be. Anyway, and then I would want to make it like a stipulations to where it's like, oh, well, here's this money for your dream, but like set up to where, like on Returning the Favor, Mike Rowe, who did the dirty jobs, he does Returning the Favor on Facebook, and what they do is they find people that are already out there supporting other people or doing good things, and then they give them money for this or purchase vehicles or tools or office space, or do something to increase what they're doing for them. So that would be that kind of stipulation. Then I would build medium-sized sustainable communities or live-in retreats for the hopeless to recover in. So, like, I've been around so many homeless people, and they're great people, and there's this learned helplessness. They're like, it'll never work for me, and I've been there before, and so nothing seems to work out. They give up. They just give up. But if there was a place where, like even the shelters, if they were to encourage them and empower them and somehow change that around to where they could finally believe in themselves, and if they did have an issue, they could ask, they could help, they could ask for help easily. I mean, I've struggled with asking for help all my life. It's been like an independent situation, or I was raised that way. Be tough and don't ever cry. And even though I did till I was like 14 on any little thing, I was very emotionally immature for a lot of my life. And like I said, this is not about me. I'm just letting you know who I am and where this idea is kind of originating from. All right, so who do you want to be a hero to, and who's the benefactor of your massively transformative purpose? I do not want to be a hero. I've been looked at as a hero many times. I've been looked at as that type of person that's like, oh, you shine so bright, and just hide me, okay? I cannot understand how these famous people and stars and celebrities, how they can do that. I guess the reward hopefully comes from they're inspiring other people, and they're donating time, money, materials to healthy causes. But that is not my thing. But I would like to be a hero to those forgotten dreamers of light who have dimmed their shine. So those people that had this hope once, or wanted something so much, and it was a good thing, and then they gave up. I mean, the people that have inspired me along the way, because I asked, because I invited the inspiration to happen, which takes a lot of courage, a lot of patience, and it's been an up-down roller coaster ride. But those ones that did keep me going, that's the kind of person I would like to be. Especially by playing this kind of game and having it set up that way to where everyone's kind of that way with everyone. Like, together is better, for sure. Write down powerful verbs that describe specific actions you would want to take. Circle the most powerful. For example, solve, inspire, transform, impact, or create. So peacefully dismantle outdated death-dealing systems. Inspire more peace, more justice, more equality, and more sustainability for us. Positively impact underfunded but beyond profits and for-purpose organizations. Support peer support specialists worldwide. So yes, like the more people that are helping more and more people, the better. Now, what I find offensive is these life coaches or these certain people that have this wisdom and then they charge people all kinds of money to get it. Now, I understand valuations, okay? That, these Gucci things cost so much money, but they're more valuable. Or like diamonds, they're just rocks. But then the De Beers company made them special. I find it offensive that people would do that they have all of this wonderful encouraging self-help, help others kind of information, and that's their core to their product, and at the same time, or service, and at the same time they're like, give me a bunch of money for it or you can't have it. No. Okay, I say no to that. And that's why the social shopping, the shopping element, and the accountability part of it makes a lot of sense. I mean, this isn't take, and then, I'm going to help this place out, so I did a good thing. No. If you're not like these millionaires and billionaires, I get it. They have their pull. Okay, that's probably the most valuable aspect of having a lots of funds, is you have pull. Yet, like J.K. Rowling, I've heard once that she used to have way more billions, but she gave away so much of it. And like how Bill Gates gives away all kinds of money. Well, at the same time, these are side distractions. These are distractions to make you look that way instead of what a lot of these people are actually doing. They think, oh, well, they're a good person because they helped so-and-so. Not cool. So no, not into that. Transform society as a whole to trust in a more unified future story of us. And yeah. Okay, moving on. Draft a few potential MTPs. Stands for massively transformative purposes. Circle the one that resonates with you the most. Keep it 20 words. Create as much harmony as possible before I die again. Peacefully dismantle outdated death-dealing systems, life-affirmingly, and create an all-in-one or three-in-one VR game of life-giving life for 8-year-olds into infinity. Said these things already. Write down a few potential moonshots and circle the one that resonates with you the most. And the criteria is it related to your MTP? It's bold, or it's big, bold, scary, and exciting. Definitely. You don't know how to pull it off yet. If achieved, it will transform your life and the lives of many. Is it clearly defined and measurable? As best I can. You and everyone else will know when it's achieved. Self-explanatory. So, Project Planet Perfect Days, Good Yums, Healthy Treats, and PP Days Purely Support Mission are the ones that I wrote down for that. Clearly describe your moonshot will look like in 5 years. Use specific numbers and dates to make it objective and measurable. Well, January 22nd, 2021, I'd like to start a mastermind for it. But what I wrote was, an army of good hearts giving 1 million votes / dollars away every week or daily to causes they support. So you know how, the sponsorships, the purchases, the contributions, the Garden of Harmony account growing to 100 million and then being voted on. I would love to see that happening every day, every week. In fact, heck, in 5 years, I would like to see money not even really being a concern, but joy of life and loving life as it is. Like these mental health, these illnesses and physical or mental illnesses are happening for reasons. Okay, and a lot of people are promoting them because they're profiteering off of tears and hurts and pains of people, and they're making money off of those things. What concrete measurable objectives can you achieve at the end of the year one, that will put your moonshot on schedule? Well, share the idea and build a mastermind group, a cooperative mastermind group. So the way I've kind of learned about mastermind groups, it's more of a help each other evolve or get better. But I see it more of a help each other build the same thing for the benefit of everyone involved. So what can you do in the next 30 days to test and de-risk your 1 year and 5 year objectives? Share descriptive videos on ppdays.today and other places, and get feedback and team building. So that's something I'll be working on shortly, to figure out how to do a website, as I've never quite done them. What evidence can you provide to demonstrate this moonshot is achievable, i.e. a similar moonshot achieved by others? Well, I've looked and I've found things that have resonated with me and been like, hey, that confirms the idea of PP Days. But I haven't found any that have all the elements that, you can't buy your way into it. It has social shopping info. It has accountability. It's a game. It's, those things. I've never found anything that close to it. But I have found similarities, and none with the scope of PP Days. What is one action you can take right now to make immediate progress? Step outside of my comfort zone and start sharing this idea with like-minded light workers and people who want sincerely to make this planet a better place. And that is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm completely uncomfortable. Not completely, but I'm getting more comfortable. It's like public speaking, I guess. And so that's why I did a minute with Mud back in March when COVID came out in the U.S. Every day I did a video to get over my social anxieties, and it's taken me a while. Since September was the first video of this series of 8 for me to do this one. So September, October, November, December, almost 4 months, and so I'm doing it. I'm doing it. That's pretty much it on this one. I know it's been way long video. I do want to say that I have one follow-up video after this for a possible way of funding PP Days. Not funding it, but like in that giving sense, like giving to each other. So you have to wait and see on the idea of a possible way to get things lifted off and launching in the right direction. But with the Mastermind, the sprints, very important. There's plenty of descriptive videos in the description clarifying the direction and the concepts, and a lot of other like-minded people, information if you'd like it. And so I better end this video before I hit almost an hour. I'm doing my best. I wish you the best for your holidays, for the next year. I'm going to continue doing this, and please do reach out if you have ideas or would like to add anything to it. It's I know with the Mastermind, it won't quite be like a paying for services in a way. If it's absolutely necessary, it can come out of the costs or later on. But I hope this becomes a random act of giving in its building. Not asking for that, though. It's the correct energies, the correct people. Everything will line up as long as it's shared, I feel like. Because we all have our say, we all have our desires. And I'm not the only one. I'm not the only dreamer out there. So if we can all come together, connect under the umbrella, play a game, build a fort, however you want to put it, make an awesome club. That's sort of the dream that I have for it. For 8-year-olds and up, for younger generations, especially the millennial generations and a lot of older people too. They're done caring about money. Once you have your stability, money isn't it. It is for a lot of people. The greed stimulate, the drive, the desires, and that's awesome. That energy is awesome, and it would be even better, especially if it was in making the world more harmonious, helping other people, giving. The superior man is the one that has it to give. Leaders eat last. And like Simon Sinek alerted me to someone saying that the best leaders are the ones that create other leaders. So if you're in that category, definitely reach out, share your feedback on what you think this maybe matters or not to you. Peace, love, blessings. Namaste. Happy holidays. Blessings.